All right, here we are. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. We are getting into it on a kind of gloomy, rainy Friday. It is the What's Up Wenatchee podcast. Nikki Darling here with you for a couple of hours. We've got a jam-packed show, a lot to fit into the next couple of hours today, 12 to 2. We do this every Friday, absolutely live here for you. And we are in a different place usually every Friday. We try to get around to different places, different businesses, different organizations, and try and really ingrain ourselves into whatever environment that we go into to find out about that place, about that area, about that organization, about that business. So today is actually really a really special day because the What's Up Wenatchee podcast is broadcasting from another broadcasting facility. What? I know it's kind of confusing, but it's actually really happening. We are in, if you can see it behind me, PERA Radio TV. They are a 24/7 online radio station. Yeah, go ahead. I don't have it up at the moment. Give me a second so we can show you what it looks like. There you go. Give you a little tour of their studio. It's actually really nice in here. A lot of windows. So they have a lot of natural light. So we don't even need to bring like any lighting. We didn't have to worry about any of that stuff today. And they run 24/7 Spanish music, right? But it's not all in Spanish. It's kind of Spanish and English, but primarily in Spanish. And then Rafa, my friend Rafa, does a live morning show 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. On that station. So we're going to sit down with him in just a few and learn all about how this awesome Spanish station got started right here in our valley. There he is. And how they are spreading the good word as a Spanish-speaking medium here. And we're going to kind of scheme about how we can do more collaborative efforts in the future, because I just got him to sign on as our bilingual MC for the Washington State Swap Meet. So we're excited about that. Yes. And speaking of the Washington State Swap Meet, all right, and before we make people seasick. Yeah, and speaking of the Washington State Swap Meet, this past week we were able to launch a scholarship program for. We saw a need. There were some vendors and some businesses, some small businesses who do this kind of stuff as a side hustle, and they were seeing a financial insecurity and being able to. Or a financial need that they just weren't able to pay the vendor cost. So we reached out into the community and asked if there was anybody that wanted to sponsor a scholarship program to offset those costs for those vendors. And somebody answered the call, and it was our good friend Shannon Delaney Craft over at Coldwell Banker Cascade. She loves hopping on to causes of this nature. And so we were able to launch that program this week. And so Shannon's going to stop by amidst her real estate travels today. And we'll talk about the scholarship program and what the real estate world looks like in Wenatchee right now. If that's anything that anybody wants to talk about. I don't know if it looks super positive out there right now in real estate. So we try and keep it super positive. So I don't know if she's going to want to talk about that one. We'll see. With me and Shannon, things can go any which way because her and I are besties. I sent the link up to Carolyn Morley. Oh boy. A loud noise. Put a note that we need to ask Brandon how to turn off the internal sound on this computer. when we do the show, because this is a new computer. This is only the second week we're using this computer, and there's some glitches. So we're getting better all the time, as we like to say here on the program. So I was talking about Carolyn Morley. She is the head, well, I like to say the head honcho. She's the big event planner, festival planner for the NCW Fair, which is this weekend. All the 4-H, all the Grange people, this is your jam. This is your Super Bowl. You get to show your goods, your wares, your livestock. I know this is a super exciting time. Plus, they have a lot of entertainment and all of the vendors and the food and the stage. So there's a lot happening, I know, up there in Waterville this weekend. So I sent her the link. We'll see if she is able to hop on virtually and just give us, hey, we're live at the NCW Fair. It starts right now. Get your katukas up here, but here's what's going on this weekend. She would give us the rundown right from on site. We'll see if that happens today. Also, I have had the pleasure in the recent history to work a bit with a man named Rob Tidd. Some of you who do a lot of volunteer work or charity work or that kind of, you run in those circles, nonprofit or that stuff in this town, you would probably know Rob because he volunteers his time so many hours, and a lot of it has to do with the Confluence Rotary. He's a Rotarian and has been for a long time, and his wife is, and they are really dedicated to the cause. But he now has just taken on being the president of the Confluence Rotary. And I have to say, I have visited them a couple of times because they do a lunch every Wednesday, like a catered lunch, which for someone like me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come have a free lunch and see what good is going on in the community. Like, I love that. And then they always have a speaker, and it's very informative. So I have some friends who just got inducted as new members of that particular club. So I was going to support them. And what I noticed is that there are a lot of young professionals who have joined this particular Rotary Club. And not that I have visited all of the other clubs, so I don't know what they're like. So, but this particular club, I've noticed a lot of young professionals, and some of them have invited me to, hey, come visit our club. Hey, you might like our club. So I know that they're trying to bring in a more, I consider myself still a young professional. Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I was looking to Grayson to give me the affirmation that I am still a young professional.
You are.
Okay, good. All right. So I think they're trying to come be a Rotarian, Nikki, be part of our young group here. So we'll talk with Rob a little bit after 1:00 about all the good that he does and why gives so much of his time for that. And those are just, those are really just let's see if I can figure this out. Settings. Go to notification. Turn off all notifications for Google Chrome.
Did you get it?
I just gave myself a round of applause because I didn't panic. I calmed down, and I literally took 2 seconds and figured out an easy solution to a very annoying sound. Now, hopefully, that's it, and we don't need to go to Brandon. All right. And those are just, I think, our guests today. I have so many other things that I want to get to talk about. It has been a really busy week because last Friday we were heading into 2 karaoke nights. if you remember. One was on Friday night up at Tower Pizza in Crescent Bar, and I will tell you. We'll go into it because both nights, Friday night at Tower Pizza at Crescent Bar and Saturday night's Fiesta karaoke night at the Senior Activity Center, the Wenatchee Senior Activity Center, was probably one of my favorite nights of karaoke that I have ever hosted in my entire life. No reaction to that?
It was fun.
One of my favorite nights of karaoke that I have ever hosted in my entire life.
Why is it yours? Why is it?
You're going to have to wait until I talk about it to find out why. Is that a good tease?
That was a really good.
Yay. All right. So Grayson is here. Where are you, Grayson? Let's get you up and say hello. Yeah, come over here.
Oh wow, this is a really high chair from the chair I've been sitting in.
Yeah, but you look great.
Oh,
Look,
well, that's
you
good.
moved this just a little bit, but no, it looks great. You sound great. How was your week?
The week was busy.
You get in and you're all relaxed, and then I ask you one question, you go,
Yeah,
"Ugh,
it
busy."
was a challenging, difficult week. Found out that in my house, when they decided to redo the bathroom upstairs, they intentionally didn't address an issue where there's a missing support beam. So I have to now bring in a contract and evaluate one of my my situation to see how we're gonna support it. We have to move the toilet, which moving the flange is an expensive thing.
So you're just
Putting in a
having
support
issues
beam
with
is
your
just-
house. Is that it's causing you
I'm having it
stress?
replumbed, so I've had the walls demoed. So that everything can be exposed. Like I have to have an electrician come in because I've got wires free floating instead of anchored and tied to a 2x4. It's just kind of like snake floating in there, so it's just sitting in the wall, but it's not actually attached.
You're like
to anything.
immediately giving me anxiety. Like I don't want to talk about this anymore.
See, neither do I.
No.
It was a hellish week.
Do you have anything fun planned for the weekend? I almost am hesitant to
No.
ask you because I'm hoping that you do.
I plan on coming over to your house and hanging out and hope that it's nice and I can jump in the pool finally.
We're
I have
hoping that
no
it's nice because it
plans.
hasn't been nice all week. Like we haven't touched the pool all week because
Well,
it hasn't
it's
really
been
nice.
It's been smoky, right?
Yeah.
And it's been like just freakish smoke come in, smoke go out, smoke
Yeah.
come back again, like stinky air. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been nice here at
So-
all. So I don't know. It's like kind of gloomy, rainy today, but is the weekend supposed to be nicer? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm hoping.
Me too. And you're more than welcome to come over and hang out and be in the pool or not be in the pool. But you can always come over and hang out. We will be organizing stuff for swap meet. Just as a warning, you don't have to. There's no obligation if you come over to help. You can always hang out.
I
or
love
listen
that
to
you
vinyl.
put that there, but Ryan's gonna be like, "Hey, how about you do blah blah blah?" I mean, he's not pushy. He just does like, "Hey,
How about you
welcome
do
to-"
this?
Yeah.
I figured I would give you that warning ahead of time because the plan is this is what needs to happen right now. My cousin and her 2 kids are arriving on Tuesday.
I know you're excited
Tuesday.
about this. It's the final countdown.
Tuesday.
It's the final countdown.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, okay. I can't get that excited because There is so much to do between now and Tuesday. Okay.
But you are that excited inside.
Inside,
You're like trying to keep it stuffed.
it has to be, because there is so much. This is what needs to happen. Okay. We have Ryan has his part of the garage, as you know, but I'm telling the people. Ryan has his part of the garage, which is a large part of the garage. Nikki has her part of the garage, which is a medium-sized part of the garage. My part of the garage at this point needs to be organized. There's room to put stuff in there, but at this point, it just needs organization and maybe a good sweeping, clearing out, right?
Hopefully you find your one slide.
My
pop-up.
retractable banner, yeah, it would be nice. Like this. I have one of these, and it said presented by Darling Productions, and
It's really cool.
It has slipped off into another dimension. I have not been able to find it. I don't know what happened to it. So that maybe would take like half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, reorganizing, cleaning everything. There's a whole side wall of stuff already in totes and boxes and bags that is ready to go to swap meet.
All right, you guys are almost there.
No, don't get ahead of yourself.
I guess almost doesn't count right now.
Oh yeah, almost is. It works in, what did it say? Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only time that counts. So what now? So after we organize and clean, then have you seen Trenton's bedroom?
All I know is that I have heard of it. I've seen his bed, but I have been made aware that on the other side you have a lot of stuff. Your clothes, you have your mom's stuff in there. There's not really any room for him to play.
Correct. Well, there is a little bit. There's a he has a pretty big bedroom, so there's a twin size race car bed for him,
Which I've seen.
He is still in like a crib bed, right? And then we have a queen size bed that was for my mom. And they were really meant to be sharing a bedroom because she was going to be living with us kind of partially of the year, right? Like 3 months here, 3 months there. So we were going to have this bedroom where that she could share with Trenton. And so that bed, that queen size bed, has now become a gathering place for stuff. The twin bed, the crib bed, and the rest of the room is clear, but the queen size bed is full of stuff that I have been collecting to get rid of. And it's not a little bit. It's not a little bit amount of stuff. It's a lot of bit.
But it's clothes, right?
Mostly clothes, shoes, yeah, stuff like that. So after
it's not clutter. It's just things you don't wear anymore.
Yeah. So and kids and Trenton stuff
that he's outgrown.
Yeah. So after the garage gets cleared out, then that needs to go out into the garage with the rest of the swap meet stuff that's already in my part of the garage, and sit there until another couple of weeks until swap meet. And that needs to happen this weekend before Tuesday, because we need that bed for them to sleep in when they are here. Do you understand?
I can help you, but I can only help you so much.
You can't help me.
Dang it.
You can't help me.
Everyone.
I wasn't saying that so you can help me. I was saying it just to share another aspect of what's on my plate at the moment.
Oh, friend, I would jump in and help you out. It's not a big deal.
It's
I mean, I
okay.
just can't lift heavy stuff, but
I know.
I can be given set of directions to follow to help out, because I'm gonna have your husband come over and help me with some electrical stuff. So I think it goes hand in hand.
We might swap some services.
Yeah, we swap some services,
That's in the vein of the swap meet, man. I'm working towards a world without money. A barter. Let's go back to a barter economy. I know it's never really going to happen, but hey, we can work at it, right? Like we're probably never going to have a world with zero waste, but we work towards it.
It might not happen in our lifetime, but
Sure.
that doesn't mean these things can't happen, because in order for humanity to reach enlightenment, it means humanity comes together. And that's why they go through all those different periods of time, and they'll call it the Bronze Age or whatever.
Hey, let's remember what Jason Underwood said, right? That we in the next 20 years, we are going our entire vision, our entire perception of our social norm. Think about what we think our social norms right now in the next 20 years are going to change because of whatever is changing out there in the astrological universe, right? These energies are changing. Like think about where we were back in the 50s and the social norms of the 50s, and it took from the 50s to now to make that paradigm shift of how many social norms. What we did from the 50s until now will happen, and that much change will happen in the shorter amount of time of 20 years. Imagine that. That's a lot of change in a small amount of time.
Well, it happened for our grandparents, and it's happening for our parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a reality of just how life ends up going.
It's true.
And when it's our turn to be old and gray and sitting back and the TV floats and you don't have to hold it, or your phone is a piece of glass and translucent, it's sci-fi stuff, right?
We're already doing this.
Well, I do.
I know. I don't.
Sci-fi is a thing there's things that end up becoming reality, right? A lot of people refer to. Have you ever seen Blade Runner? A lot of people refer to Blade Runner. There's a lot of things that we have today that we use and have access to that they were doing in the movie.
I have other.
Except the flying car.
Examples, right? Like the Jetsons.
Yep.
We have, we talk on screens, right? This was happening in the Jetsons.
And we have robots that clean.
Right? We have telemedicine. We talk to doctors on the TV.
We can track our dogs through their tag.
Yeah.
Just
because we don't have flying cars yet doesn't mean we're not Jetson-like.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you remember... I just said the dog's name and I forgot.
Astro.
Remember, Astro had the little sonar.
Yeah.
To track him. We can do that through Apple AirTags and all kinds of other items now that you can attach to your dog's collar. Not just a chip, cartoons. Right? Yeah. So a lot of those things do become reality because we have full electric cars. They're not flying, but they flew fully electric ships.
How about
ship cars?
Inspector Gadget. He always had those little gadgets and everything.
Yeah, well, we have a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or James Bond. He always getting cool gadgets and stuff that he could. A lot of that stuff is now, I think, was hyperbolic and so superhuman back then, but it spurred innovation, right? It was
sure did.
And why does this have to be fiction, right? Well, let's make it reality.
Exactly. And it's been in lots of different cartoons and lots of different movies, and not just go gadget and talking to your arm. I mean, there's been all kinds of different programs that have been put out literally since the 50s. If you go back to B-rated movies, that those things have actually become our reality over the course of time. And because it spurs innovation, it spurs those wonderful people that come up with all these different applications and products. These inventors are they're
but that also to that point, Grayson, that also scares me.
Why?
Because when movies come out now that kind of blow my mind about Ryan and I were talking about the multiverse last night, different timelines and time travel. And if we're moving towards a time when time travel exists, then we have to have a time to travel to that also exists. So are these two timelines existing at the same time.
Well,
and then
first the there are
yes.
theories that Einstein and I'm spacing the other guy in the wheelchair's name. I'm so sorry because I know who
Stephen
it is,
Hawking.
have created that would make those things reality. There's already the theory of the multiverse that Hawking's got.
Right.
You have the theory of relativity. So there's all these different theories out there that these physicists work with. You know, you've got Schrodinger and Schrodinger's cat, right? So
Yeah.
you've got all these different. It's possible,
I think
but we're
therefore I am.
We're not there yet. Here's one
But
for
who's
you.
to say we're not there yet? Just because just because they're not telling us that we're not there yet doesn't mean we're not there yet. That's why I'm scared, because what if there are some people out there who are watching these so-called science fiction movies and not trying to innovate and make it a reality and are really like out there time traveling and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm just getting like way ahead of myself.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example.
Okay,
So that
give me an example.
So that not only are you scared, but it makes
Right.
So Deanna and I were I don't remember how it came about, but it was about a embryo, a fully unfrozen now, functioning dinosaur embryo that they're considering making come to reality in science.
Wow, like Jurassic Park.
And that's exactly what she said. Great. So Jurassic Park can be a real thing
totally.
now. Because that's what we need. We need dinosaurs.
We need dinosaurs. I mean, my son would love it, but he doesn't understand
from a distance.
My son has no idea about repercussions or self moderation. So.
But that is a very scary thing to know, that we already can clone animals, right? We've cloned a sheep named Dolly. It's scary to know that, and it's been moved to the tundra, deep base in Siberia. They found a woolly mammoth in the tundra outside in the permafrost that still had its skin intact. And that was what spurred me to originally go to college to be a geneticist. So that would have been in the 90s.
Right.
So for them to now find an embryo completely 100% intact with its DNA, and that they are like, "Ooh, we can extract that and we can replicate," it is a scary thought, because have you seen all the Jurassic Parks? And what always happens every single time they do something stupid like that? The dinosaurs win.
The dinosaurs will. Hey, dinosaurs will always win when it comes to humans. Let's just put that out there, Chris Pratt. Okay. All right, man. Just like stick to the outer space galaxy.
You don't want to.
Hey, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy #3 the other night.
Don't. I'm the one that's on the. I'm upset.
You watched it?
Yeah.
So did we.
Deanna and I went and saw it in the theater, and my heart was like, oh,
yeah, we're not happy about it.
Like,
we're not happy about it.
Come on, stick with what you know, man. Stay over here in this lane.
Yeah.
I like it better in this lane.
Hey, come back. They'll do a #4 and they'll come back and it'll be like going back to their roots and it'll be so much better. But #3, not the strong one in the series.
No, it's not. It does set up that they're gonna go after a lot of the sub characters and kind of reveal all kinds of things about them, which they started to do in the third one. Not trying to give anything away, but that is kind of I'm sorry, spoiler alert. But at the same time, there's some things that take place that I can say that it's probably affected you and Ryan, that you're like emotionally like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Hey.
Why did you just pull this out of left field on me? What's that all about? Because that was my reaction, that knee-jerk reaction. And I know it was Deanna's as well. And we talked about it. And I'm sure you and Ryan talked about it.
Yeah, Ryan didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, he didn't?
Oh, that's how he gets. Well, eventually, maybe when you come over, you can talk to him about it. But he just gets like, we're not going to talk about it. I'm like, okay.
Oh, so he got upset.
Yeah. He's just like, I don't like it. You can imagine him being like that. Just being like, I don't like it. We're not. All right, moving on. Moving on.
I can see him doing that because I've seen him do that.
Yeah, we're just moving on.
I can't figure it out. Let's just put it down. Let's move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. We'll come back to that. ickiness later. Yeah, but you know what? I want to kind of back up just a little bit because we're kind of we're talking and touching on a topic that is about innovation, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's how we came about and around to this, and anything that is innovative, people get, even myself, you get like weird about. We had a planning meeting for the swap meet that you didn't make it to yesterday.
I know. I'm so sorry. I didn't do
It's
that. on
okay.
purpose.
It's all right. But I went around the group, the planning meeting group, and I asked them for feedback on what they're hearing out there in the community. Like, what are you hearing, good, bad, and different about swap meet? And they had given me their feedback. And, there is some feedback that people don't know what a swap meet is, or they don't know what to expect. There's just a lot of question marks
Because a
around
lot
it.
of people haven't been to a swap meet out here.
Yeah.
It's
Or
it's
haven't
not-
been to a swap meat at all. Like there are some areas
because there's
that
not swap meets out here. I mean,
Right.
the closest one to here, you have to travel out to. I think it's Packwood would be the
and
clo-
Packwood is
we don't
actually
have-
a flea market,
right, which is
which
similar
is
to the swap mart.
slightly the same,
Yeah.
slightly different. Yeah,
We have an antique mall here downtown, but it's
Mhm.
not like a vendor mall.
right.
So we don't really have these kinds of things here like they have in other places. Like Spokane is sprawling with vendor malls. They have vendors who are traveling and come through and they pick up a space for a little while and they move on. And then there's a big event. So they travel to that. And then they make their way back through these vendor malls because they're there to sell.
And a lot of people, this is how they make their living. They set their course at the beginning of the season, and these are all the ones that we're going to travel to throughout the summer, and this is where we make our money. And so I'm not surprised that the Washington State Swap Meet is not on their route, right? Because why would it be? This is the first year that we're really doing it.
Oh, this is only going to get bigger as the years go on.
I mean, we have plans. This is not a one and done event. We have built a huge foundation for this event that will continue to grow out a network where this will be the end event for these traveling vendors that go to Packwood, that go to the Barter Fair, that go to all the different places throughout the state throughout the season, which is going to be really exciting. So even if you have been to a swap meet, this one is even slightly different than that. So even if you are used to what it means to go to a swap meet, I would tell you this one is different, and you're still not going to know what to expect because it's a little bit swap meet and a little bit like Apple Blossom, right? Where they have a stage and entertainment and different community groups that are going to be leading things like a music and movement class for the kids or a paint on vinyl class from Class with a Glass. They're doing that. Or Qigong, which is like Tai Chi, guided Qigong from Jason Underwood's doing that from Humblebee Collective. And we also are doing fit dance, which is like Zumba, fit dance. And so different things. Matthew Pippin's going to do advanced book reading and do a Q&A for 9 strangers. So we're adding these community led activities and events that are free for anybody to come to, plus the party atmosphere, like the family friendly karaoke and the swap hop dance. Yeah, the
kids craft fair.
And
we have so much going on.
And music will be playing all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's got a summer camp party atmosphere. And we opened it up for the community to come for free, and vendors pay a small investment to have a space to be able to promote themselves, sell if they want, swap if they want, engage with the community, promote, just get yourself out there. And So I was talking with Carmen Som, who is the owner of Humblebee Massage, Humblebee Collective, and she is one of our sponsors this year. And she's got Jason leading the Qigong class, and she's going to come out there. And we were talking about what she's going to do, and she's like, "Well, what could we swap?" I was like, "Well, you can tell people to come over and make a really nice, because they do energy work, right? So I'm like, well, make a really nice natural light, bring out some pillows, make it a seating area, and be like, come on in and swap energy with us, right? Like, get creative with it." And she's like, that's a really good idea. I was like, just find what works for you, right? Be you and use that to engage with people.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun because we also have people that are going to do yard sailing.
Yes.
So
Well, like
which
us,
makes
we're
it
bringing
so much
everything
different
out.
than a flea market or swap meet or having a vendor or a business, right? These are
Yeah.
just people who are like, well, everyone's going to be there. So if you've got stuff in your garage or in your house that you're no longer using and you've meant to go to the Goodwill, but maybe you can make a quick buck on it, even if I'll say this, even if you find in your house you have old video games and no one's taking them, bring them, because there will be someone there that will buy them, probably all of them off of you at one time. Me.
It's true.
It could be me. I do collect the old school games from the systems, but there'll be other people like me there. And, if you've got an old exercise equipment and you're trying to get rid of it, this is a great place to do that. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to finally make some space in your garage, in your home, in your yard. You got old patio furniture and you don't know what to do with it anymore because you got, something different. Get a spot. Tell other friends. Tell your family. Here's my input. Everyone that I talk to about Swap Me, which would be everyone that I know, the feedback that I get from everyone other than what is it's free. It's family friendly. Oh, I can bring my entire there's something for my kids to do. And it's like, what? Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. I can pick up maybe some new furniture for my house. I might be able to find this one piece of equipment for the yard I've been looking for. That is exactly what this opportunity is all about. So I'm hoping that the way that we're explaining it today for everyone that's watching, come out to the swap meet. It doesn't matter where you live in the state. You can have your family come to the swap meet. It is really going to be probably the most different swap meet that I've ever been to.
I hope
my
so.
whole life, but I'm super excited.
And that's why I say it's anything that's innovative is going to have people questioning it, because you would hope so, because it's new. So people are going to go, huh? What? Well, tell me more about that. Give me more information. So hopefully people are going to ask questions, and I don't want the answers to come out like, well, we're doing this swap meet, and I want to be like, this thing is like, look, you can't see, but I've got the map up on the screen right now, and like, look at this thing. It's we have built out this festival to be so cool. And if you don't know that that you can go and interact with this map on WashingtonStateSwapMeet.com, so you'll see the food truck alley, the kids zone, where we have the stage, we have charging stations, where you'll be able to rent little charging batteries, portable charging batteries that will charge your phone or your tablet or your device like in under an hour, and those are absolutely free. And we have our eco resource fair, swap meet and greet beer garden that's being put on by the East Wenatchee Rotary.
There's literally something for everyone.
For
We got
everybody.
the food truck alley. I mean, this is going to be a really, really fun.
But we started
Fun
to I started to place some of the vendors, so you can actually go in and like you can see like who actually is going to be there. Like we have so many different types, right? Like VR Tapscott is a local author, really popular author on Amazon, who's coming to sell some of his books. We got Wenatchee Computers, going to have some refurbished computers and laptops. Zero Handicap with their golf carts, get a refurbished golf cart. So and let's see, what else do we got? Face painting, crochet, candles, different artisan vendors, and then we have some just regular yard sailors. Time Capsule is going to do they're one of our sponsors as well. They're going to do a whole booth of some of their retro game stuff. Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo is bringing some vinyl out to sell ahead of their event in October. Recycled Designs by Rebecca. She does like metal art. She takes like old gas cans and old metal and she makes it into like trees and stuff. So
found art.
Found
There's
art.
nothing else
Yeah.
like it.
So you can go on there and check it out.
Oh yeah, I know I haven't got my spot yet, but I'm waiting to hear back from my neighbor. I think I've got quite a few neighbors that want to go in on one spot. I got one that wants to sell some microgreens, which is
I
pretty
love
awesome.
that. That's
Organic microgreens. That is definitely cool, especially since they've been done hydroponically. That's
really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
So
people don't know what that means, but
so it's like super, super awesome. And then I've got neighbors that just have some things that they're like, well, I want to do a yard sale. This sounds like a great way to just bring it all to one location and hope I don't bring anything home.
I was talking with Ryan this morning, right? And so I was like, well, what are you planning to bring to Swap Meet? And he's going through some stuff. And I loved this conversation because Ryan is the perfect mirror for me. And he goes, well, we have this foosball table out in the garage and I want to get rid of this foosball table, but I don't want to haul it all the way out there and then not sell it and then have to haul it all the way back. And I just smiled at him. I said, oh, I love you. I just love you so much. I was like, if we were going to have a yard sale, we would just take that foosball table and throw it out in the yard, right? That's what most people want to do. It's easier. And then we have to get people to come to our house. And then if they don't come to our house, what are we going to do with all the stuff? We're going to throw it away. And it goes to a landfill and we don't know what happens to it. And he goes, well, yeah. And I go, or you haul it over to the swap meet and there's 3,000 to 4,000 people who are going to come through for the weekend, not just the maybe 30, 40 people who we got to come out to our house that weekend. 3,000 to 4,000 people coming through the fourplex that weekend. You're going to sell the foosball table, okay? And it's not going to go to the landfill. That's the point of the swap meet. It's the point.
It really is, because you don't know what you're going to find. So there's going to be people that, they didn't really come there with anything in mind, but they're going to see something. And that we all shop, we're all consumers, and you see something that you've been looking for and you've got to have it, you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You're going to buy it. So there's something for everyone. You can say that and it makes it seem like you're selling it. But the truth of the matter is that you've done it. I've done it. Everyone watching has done it. You've walked in the store and there's something that's not on your list, but it's something that you've been looking for and you need it. So you impulsively buy it because you've been wanting it for an excessive amount of time.
Yeah.
And that is what this is going to be. So even though my neighbors say they're going to go home empty-handed because they're going to get rid of they're going to find something there that they can't leave there without.
Right.
So they're not really going home empty-handed, right? They're
Yeah.
going to go home with something as well.
Yeah. And the one thing I told him, I was like, you just have to price it right. You bring it out there and you price it right, it's going to go. So that's my tip to everybody is, if you're like, hey, I'll just sell it on Marketplace or I'll just have a yard sale. Think about what you're going to do if it doesn't sell, right? You're either going to throw it away or it's going to sit in your garage still. This is just such a better choice.
You just got to you need to be able to allow yourself to haggle with someone, or you need to set the price right.
We're going to start giving out awards, I think. That was Trina's idea. One of our awards is going to be the hardest negotiator of the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's going to be those people. They're going to exist. But, if you want to get rid of something, you're going to get rid of it.
Yep.
Like, I've got clothes like you.
That's true.
And I know they're worth probably more than what I'm going to get rid of them for. But the point is I need them to go away.
That's right.
I'm not going to make a lot of money off of it, but I don't
Go.
care. I just want someone to be like, dude, that shirt is so cool. It's Abercrombie & Fitch. It's mine.
OBO.
I'm
Bundle,
working-
bundle, bundle.
I don't want to bring anything that I'm bringing there home with me, and that's the whole point of this. But
yeah.
I'm probably gonna bring. I know I'm gonna find people with video games. I know I'm gonna bring all that home.
Yeah, but that's you swap it for something that
PS3.
what does that
PS2.
feng shui lady say? She said if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. So if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. And if you see something at the swap meet that brings you joy, bring it home. Unless it's my husband, he comes home with me. I'm sorry. Let me think about it.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a lot of fun. I know I've
All
asked
right.
Deanna to come from Spokane down to hang out, and
even my
bring
stepson
stuff.
is he's like, I'll come and help out when he's not working that weekend. I took him driving yesterday.
How'd that go?
I felt like, imposter syndrome, right? Like, how did I get here? I'm not qualified for this. I'm like, how did I get to be the stepmom taking the 18-year-old to practice driving? I had no idea how I'd gotten into this position, but I think I did all right. He did great. He needed some help parallel parking, of course, and like everybody stinks at parallel parking. And who would think that I'm good at parallel parking? But when I lived in Philadelphia, I lived in a place called Manayunk, which is a hill. The whole city is a hill. And in the middle of the winter, where there's nothing but street parking, because it's the city, and you're street parking on a hill, on an icy road, try parallel parking on an icy hill. Then you are a professional parallel parker. So I'm like, I got you, kid. And he did it. He learned.
Yeah, it's true. If you can drive in the snow, you can drive any surface. That is a very true point, especially with parallel parking. Parallel parking, I think, is hard for people because you have to know the space differential of your vehicle all the way around, like you are your car.
Yes.
And it's hard for a lot of people, but you're right. I mean, that's how I mastered it, was in Seattle when it snowed, which Seattle doesn't get a lot of snow, but those roads are slippery. And I parked a U-Haul on a 90-degree incline going up East Olive Way in a snowstorm when I moved home from California. So if I can do it in a giant U-Haul truck, I know I can do it in my own car, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Wow.
No, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that Logan's
Yeah.
taking these big steps of going out there and getting his driver's license. That's a big deal for anybody.
All right, we are fastly running out of time. I can't believe it. So I got to move on from you. I'm sorry. It was nice to see you.
Good to see you guys. I'm going to go back to the back.
All right. I want to just remind everybody that we are a fully community supported podcast and broadcast. And what that means is that people who view this and watch this support us to help keep the broadcast going. Local businesses and local organizations help with sponsorships. So if you would like to be a part of our network and help support, I will put up the website where you can do that. It's right at the bottom of the screen right now, www.supercast.com. You can also just make a one-time donation, or you can get in contact with us. We do have a wish list of items, so people have been more comfortable with that, just going on to our wish list and purchasing items on our behalf. And we don't really care which way you support us. We just want to keep doing this week after week. Before I sit down and talk with my good friend Rafa, who runs PERA Radio here, which is where we are broadcasting from, is pretty cool deal. A live podcasted broadcast from a online radio station. So it's like, are you online? Yes. Are you on a podcast? Yes. Are you on YouTube? Yes. The answer is yes. We're here. But we're going to talk to him about his online radio station and how that got started and the good that they're doing to get the message of the people out there. And so we'll do that. But before we get into that, I want to just mention, like, okay, I was scrolling through, and you know how on Facebook they'll be like, these are your memories from so many years ago. And it'll show like a picture of you when you used to be like 100,000 pounds. And you're like, oh my God, I used to look great. And then, or it's like, a lot now for me, it's been pictures of my mom coming up and I go, oh man, I have to share these because they just remind me of my mom. And I always want to just keep sharing them. And maybe they'll just like exponentially keep coming up in my feed is my hope. But I had a post come up a couple of days ago, and it was a video that I want to share with you. And it's just a couple of minutes long, and it's of Octavia Spencer. And she was giving a speech, and you might remember it because it made its rounds back in 2017. And that is when I actually posted it. So it must have came across my feed in 2017 when she made this speech at Kent University at their graduation. And so of course it's one of those inspirational graduation speeches, but although I wasn't graduating that year, it hit a chord with me where it got to my heartstrings, and I had posted it up with the caption that said, I am better than who I am today. And the hashtag said, get ready world. And that was 6 years ago. So I'm going to share this couple-minute speech with you and kind of give you my reflections of now looking back on where I was 6 years ago and how this hits me now, like thinking about who I was then. So let me get this up. And the video is called Embrace the Mess. And that's going to have a meaning here after I tell you, or it has a meaning to me. Because I think I have had to do that. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let Octavia give you her speech here for the next couple of minutes.
Unmarried and no family. Life is unpredictable. I thought that by this age I'd be done with my semi-successful acting career. But married and raising a fool as an actress, I'm hugely successful. So know that you're going to alter the way our world works in ways you cannot even imagine. But as you move forward, please, oh please, don't let yourself get caught up in the trap of comparison. You know what I'm talking about. Ignore this silly 30 under 30 list that the internet throws at you before you've even had your morning cup of coffee. If I had to read 25 actresses who broke through before 25, when I was first starting out, I tell you guys, I would have stayed in bed because I guarantee you that none of them look like me. None of them. So know this, you're going to continue to evolve in unforeseen ways. You are full of complexities and wonders that haven't even begun to surface. Life's unpredictability will draw these out, and what defines you now will be mere shades and hues of a more vibrant you over the next 5, 10, 50 years. Honestly, I can't think of anything more liberating than that, knowing that life will look differently than you think it will. So think big, show up early, stay late, and bust your asses. Excuse me for the profanity. But stay focused so that your change and growth is intentional. Don't let who you're becoming be shaped by disappointments, and also let yourself be shaped by achievements either. Remember your Kipling. If you could meet with triumph and disaster, but treat those two imposters just the same. treat them just the same. The journey you take now will be led by you alone. Let me say that again. The journey you take now will be led by you alone. Don't let that scare you. Oh no, let that liberate you. So keep moving forward. And don't be frustrated when your path gets messy, because it will get messy. You'll fall and you'll fail along the way, wildly. Embrace the mess. Say it with me. Embrace the mess.
Embrace the mess, Octavia Spencer says. And yeah, it's hard for me to not get emotional while watching that clip. But I said I was not going to cry on the podcast today. So I'm not. But yeah, hopefully that resonated with you as well as it did with me. And really, there were a couple of, I mean, the whole thing is really powerful. Dang it, Octavia, you got me again. Because she starts off the speech by saying she was unmarried and whatever, I don't know, whatever else she said in the beginning there, and unsuccessful. That was what it was, unmarried and unsuccessful. And 6 years ago, that's how I felt. I mean, I was unmarried. I mean, I didn't just feel that way, but I was alone, right? I was single. I was alone. I lived here by myself. I was just me and my dog, and I didn't feel like I didn't feel a purpose. And so I knew that I wanted something different for my life that had a purpose, had a vision, and I didn't feel, even though others would have from the outside looked in at me and said, she is a successful person, I couldn't look at myself and go, I feel successful. I feel like I am living the life of purpose that I am meant to live. So I think that's where I was at. If I look back on where was I in that moment, watching that clip 6 years ago, posting it up going, I am better than who I am right now. So watch out, world. And went from that moment forward to where I am now. Obviously, it has been a process for 6 years, but looking back on that, I'm married happily. I own a home. I have a 2-year-old child who's happy and smart and healthy and quirky and silly, just like me and his dad. And I run a business that is, for all intents and purposes, successful and living out a purpose every single day to give back and make a change in my community. And I feel so much better about that than I did 6 years ago. And man, isn't that a great place to be? That doesn't mean that, it's progress, not perfection. I love that saying. That is like my mantra. So there are places we want to go. There are things we want to do. There's improvements we want to make. We are very ambitious. And what is our motto? We're getting better all the time. We are getting better all the time. All right. So thank you for sitting there and indulging me in that. We have another hour left of the show. You are sitting here and you can interact live with us if you'd like, watching the What's Up Wenatchee podcast, broadcasting live from East Wenatchee today at PERA Radio TV from their broadcast studios, which is very fun. We're going to sit down with Rafa, who is their morning host and runs everything around here, in just a few. And I have my good friend Rob Tidd just walked in. So you guys, you want to do like rock, paper, scissors? See who goes first?
No, he's the veteran.
Oh, he's the veteran. You want to see how he does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I had Rafa actually come. I would love for you to come on over and Raphael sit down with me. He has been doing this. He says he's been getting up since 4 a.m. Getting up at 4 a.m. for the past 10 years to do this and run this online radio station. He is just a fantastic voice for the community, brings people in here to basically do what we do every week, but he does it every day. So it's an inspiration to me to see what he does and how he does it and what motivates him. So let me bring onto the program Rafael Aguilar. Rafa.
How you doing, Nikki? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, my friend.
Wow, we're
Oh,
broadcasting live and we're broadcasting together.
together.
We were at the same place the
right.
last time, but we weren't together. You
Right.
were doing your thing and I was doing my thing.
That was the
Down Toyota Center.
the mobile food bank
Yeah.
put on by Second
was raining.
Harvest and Molina. It rained so hard
It was
that
raining.
day.
Your canopy.
My
was full of water.
canopy. I did not have a good canopy that day, and it kept like the water would pool in, and then I at one point tried to
Yeah.
push it up, and then
You got wet.
no, I dumped water all over the main guy. I forget his name from Second Harvest. He was waiting to
Poor
get on
guy.
air with me for an interview. He stood there and it just went whoosh.
And you
That's
didn't have
right.
electricity that day either.
I didn't have electricity. Well, because they told me that they were going to provide
Yeah.
it, and then I didn't. And then you were so nice to give me electricity.
have my
I would
own
have been dead in the
generator.
water without you that day.
So
So,
things worked out for us that day.
and we became very fast friends,
Yep.
did we
Yeah,
not?
we became brothers and sisters.
So we're just going to keep going and becoming more and more and more and more ingrained into what we do together. So now you're on my podcast. You got to have me on your station.
Absolutely. And there's so many things that we can do together. It's just a matter of timing, coordinating, and making sure that we have our own talents to maximize the potentials.
I like
What's
that.
that?
You talk like me.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
I don't really
better.
talk like
I
you.
do better.
don't
I
really-
do better in Spanish. I do better in Spanish. Believe me.
You sound much sexier than I do. Let's be
My
real.
accent.
Yeah.
But it's good to be here. It's good to have you here.
Yeah.
You know,
It's good to be in a
kind of
radio
stra-
station.
It's kind of strange because it's like I want to have everybody to come to the studio and see what we do in the morning at 5 in the morning, because that's when I get here. I get up at 4. I'm here at 5, doing news, preparing news, and preparing the weather forecast for Wenatchee, Quincy, Chelan, Tacoma, Yakima, Spokane, Seattle, Moses Lake, Mattawa, and Pasco. So those are my 10
Oh my
best
gosh.
cities that I know where there's people listening in the morning
Mm-hmm.
on the radio. I have visited most of the cities. Okay, well, Wenatchee, right? Quincy, of course, Chelan, of course.
How do
Tacoma-
you know? How
Tacoma
do you know
and
where
Seattle.
people are listening from?
They call me. They send me messages.
They call you?
They send messages on Messenger
Uh-huh.
with their voice. So they say,
They like leave you a
yeah,
message,
and
and then you can put it on
they
the
can
air.
play it on the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way.
Dang.
And then also on social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get all those messages.
What's the furthest away that people are listening?
Canada, near the border, and all that in Washington. But
Yeah.
I've people in everywhere in the world.
Well, because
I've-
you're an online radio
yeah.
station.
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's
But
the
it's
kind
a
of the
beauty.
difference.
but in my concentration it's Washington, and now concentration is targeting the east of Washington. But I go and travel everywhere. I was in Tacoma last Friday, and we did a broadcast from the Pike Market where they threw the fish.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it was fun.
Pike's
Yeah,
Place
I was
Market.
across the street from them because there is a restaurant in the Pike's Market.
Did you
called,
see them throw the fish?
Yes, I videotaped it.
Oh,
And I shared that. You don't follow me, that's why.
I'm so busy.
I
I
I was
pay people to
Lo-
follow
Los
you.
Los Agaves restaurant in Side Pike Market.
Yeah.
They had a little table like just like this, and that's where I set up my equipment to broadcast from their restaurant
Yeah.
on Friday. That was Seattle, right? Then in the evening, I went to Tacoma to do another broadcast. That was the same day. And then Saturday, we did another show here in Wenatchee. And then Sunday, we went to Yakima.
Yeah, you were telling
So,
me about that.
yeah.
This is why you and I get along, because we are still we love being out there, right?
Yeah.
We're still one of the true broadcast pioneer people that love boots on the ground. Like, don't stick me in a studio all the time. Right?
Yeah.
There are radio people out there that just love sitting in a studio, never getting out into the community. You're like me, that
Yeah.
we're like, put me out there, coach. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Wherever you put me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Get me out of the studio.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Now, there's a lot of responsibilities too, because we know that a lot of people are starting to rely on us. Our credibility level is increasing by the day because we do the news.
Yeah.
I have the weather report at the bottom of the hour, and I do the news at the top of the hour. So I do national news.
And this is all in Spanish?
All in Spanish.
Okay.
National news, and I do local news. So after the national segment, then we go to the local segment. And I will always have people from the local communities, whether it's Chelan County or Douglas County. And if there's news from other counties like Yakima or Benton County or Grant County, I will research and find the contact and develop the relationship.
Sure.
And we start, getting all their press releases. So we get all that information from them directly. And then I always tell people, if you want to information that is reliable, you need to listen to us, because we don't need stuff from YouTube or from social media. We read stuff directly from the source. So there's no misinformation and there's no fake information in our news department.
And no bias information.
No bias
Yeah,
information.
I think that's probably
no political affiliations
Right.
unless they're paid for. So that's why I say, when you get your guests here, make sure they have a contract. And if they don't have a contract, we can't have them here.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
sure.
Clients, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been like some of your favorite interviews that you've done here in the community?
Oh my
I know
God,
there's so
everybody's my
many.
favorite. Everybody's my favorite. But I get a lot of artists. We get a lot of local dancers and singers and even
Yeah.
karaoke. We have little kids from 7 years old that they sing, and then the parents cry when they see them singing on the radio station, right? It's
Mhm.
touchy, it's fun, but you feel like it's a little success on the horizon, right? Because yes, I wish she was Selena when she was. I can interview her when she
Yeah.
was younger, or one of the other artists.
Do you find it hard to try and get people to like listen online or listen on an app? I don't know. Is it just on the website, or do you have an app?
There's an app for Google and for iPhone, for
Yeah.
Android and iPhone.
So do you have a hard time with teaching people, like, no, it's not on like a radio dial?
Oh,
it's
they're always
online?
looking for they're
Yeah.
always looking for it in the car. And
Yeah.
I said the only way you can find it in the car is if you have a Bluetooth. Connect your phone with your Bluetooth, and voila.
Yeah.
Right?
Did they get it?
Sounds
Did they get
It
it?
sounds much better than AM and FM. It's clear, transparent.
Well, yeah, kind of our theme today has
Yeah.
been this, the theme of innovation.
Yeah.
And like anytime
Yeah.
anything new and
Yeah.
innovative comes along, people are like,
Absolutely.
oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And there's
about
more.
this.
There's more towers.
What do we do?
There's more towers now that are more powerful.
Mhm.
So I drive to Seattle, and I just get like some spots, through the mountain
Yeah.
where there is no Wi-Fi. Some spots.
Yeah.
But
when
then
you're
it
going over
picks
the
it up
pass
again.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
it picks it up again. I go to Tri-Cities, and there's no stoppage. So that's a 2-hour drive. I go to Spokane. That's a 3-hour drive. There's no stoppage. It's like the signal is perfect.
Other
Wi-Fi.
than you in the morning, you do it Monday through Friday, and then whenever you're out and about on a live broadcast, are there any other voices on the station? Other DJs?
Official voices? No, just reporters and volunteers that call me to give me the reports.
Okay.
So
Oh wow. So you need some more people.
absolutely.
Oh, just, I'm one to talk. It's just me. All
We'll do the bilingual segments, you and I.
This is what I'm thinking, because I need your like sexy Spanish voice on my podcast network. We need.
Are you
more,
sure?
I think I
They're
think
gonna
I'm
turn
sure.
it off.
What?
There's some
Hey,
people
what's
that
up? Oh, you're saying I have stuff in the chat?
You have someone from Twitch that has reached out.
Oh, cool. We have somebody from Twitch. That
How you
has reached
doing?
Out.
It's I love David saying, "Hey, what's up? How are you guys doing?"
How we
Yeah,
doing?
thank you.
Thank
Right.
you. We are doing good. We are doing good today. How are you doing? Let us know. I love it. We have
Shout
people-
outs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs.
I always like shout outs.
Well, we're starting with just this. We're doing this, and then you are signed on to be at the swap meet for
Saturday, the
the
9th.
yeah, where you're gonna do your morning show there on Friday,
Yes.
right? So we'll see you out there Friday morning.
What time are you gonna get there on Friday?
Oh,
I wanna be there
I think I'm gonna sleep there
5?
Thursday night. I'm just gonna camp. Probably not sleep.
Bring your tent.
You'll see
Your
me
sleeping
pacing
bag.
the
Yeah.
grounds. I'll be just doing laps and just like I don't
That's
know.
not a bad idea.
Probably not a
There
bad
was a
idea.
concert walk, and then they were doing it at 24 hours. People didn't stop.
Oh,
at
the Relay for Life. Yeah.
Right. I remember.
Put that on for next year.
Next year, Relay for Life.
Nikki leads the Relay for Life the night before the swap meet
At
because
the
she has so
summit,
much
at the
energy
location. At the location.
at the location, just pacing the grounds the entire night. I'll make a lot of money for Relay for Life.
And that's Saturday. So Friday I'll be there
Friday doing
broadcasting
your
live
show.
with my radio show, and then Saturday with MCing together, right?
No,
No?
you've got the whole thing Saturday. Just you, Spanish and English.
Where am I gonna have lunch? I gotta have some of that food that's gonna have these.
Oh,
How,
we'll
how
give
many
you
food
a
vendors?
break. You'll have like one
just
announcement
kidding.
an hour or something. It's gonna be. It's
Can I
very-
record some?
No. Yes. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right
But
then.
as long as we have you there with your big smiling face, and I'm be happy to have
Sounds
you out
good.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 10 years,
10 years doing this. Is this when this started? 10 years ago?
2013.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
I was doing the same thing, but with the local corporations,
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so what made you
Was
jump
just-
ship and do it on your own?
I was already doing some testing back in California for a couple of years. So we're doing just testing to see how we can get the computers connected to a microphone. We just didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Believe me, I didn't know what I was doing with the online stuff.
Yeah. Same.
And then we were connecting cables and connecting microphones, and then all of a sudden we made it sound. So it's like, okay, no, we got it. We were, I don't know, just the way,
Having fun.
the way it is, right? The way it is like connect this and that. But that was not our thing. Our thing was communicate, inform, share information. So when we made it sound, then we started doing little segments, on
Mhm.
talk radio. I always like the little talk radio.
Yeah.
I got to play music, but it's talk. That's what I'm all about. News and talk.
Yeah. Connecting with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
get that.
that was 2 years prior coming to Wenatchee. So 2012, 2011, I was testing. And when I came here, I worked for a radio station company here in town, in Wenatchee. And they're, I don't know, just weird. We couldn't connect with the people. Then we decided to start our radio station in our garage here in Malaga. And we started every night doing this every night. You know who was our first guest?
Who?
Michael Carlos.
Michael
He was our first
Carlos.
guest in our garage.
I
In
love
our
Michael.
garage
Yeah.
10 years ago. So he came, he played the guitar and stuff. And then we had somebody else. But then we realized that we had a potential when we start growing. We had the audience, 10 people, 20 people, then we have 50 people, and then we got 100 people. And then all of a sudden we figured we need to start capitalizing on this. And my brother-in-law then said, let's rent an office. Let's go. I make the banner and this and that. And so we started right here across the street from where we are right now.
Yeah.
In a little tiny office. And we had a little studio there on, I think it's called Rock Island Road.
Yeah.
Off Grant.
Yeah.
Right behind the gas station. With a little strip mall is.
Right.
Laundromat.
Rock Island Road.
Yeah. That's where we started. And then we also started a little magazine, but that was not my thing. That was time consuming for me, but it helped me build both. So it took off. But that was 10 years ago. A lot of people didn't know what online radio was. Things changed,
Yeah.
But the first 3 years, it was really
Persistence.
hard, really hard.
You have to
It was
be
all red numbers.
It's like nobody knows what a podcast
The red
network
numbers,
is.
yeah.
Right. You have
Yeah,
to
it took time.
educate and inform even on that.
Yeah.
And let them know what the benefit is of that as a medium
Yeah.
to them, right?
Yeah.
And
we-
but for you,
We learned ourselves too. We learned.
right?
Yeah, we learned.
Yeah.
We learned to develop our techniques for explaining to the community, first to the public and then to the business owners,
Mhm.
because a lot of people don't know exactly how this is going to benefit them.
Right.
The public is one thing, but the business is another thing. Yes, there is a benefit,
Yeah.
of course. So we start developing our sales technique because that's what it takes. We need to be able to sell your product, right? It's a product for the industry. It's a brand new industry.
Yes.
It's a brand new. This was not on any industry at all 20 years ago.
Right. Nobody
Right.
even knew what it was. Yeah.
And now it's an industry. We have a Spanish radio online association that started last month. They came here. We have 10 radio stations from the west side, Seattle, Tacoma, that I know. And then they came here. All we met, it was online.
Wow.
We met online. And then they came here. We had lunch. Tonight, we're going to have a Zoom video
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because we're going to start producing content together. And we're all going to share one segment. So it's going to be a network of online radios. It's going to take us to
It's
the next
beautiful.
step.
I love that.
It's going to take us to the next step
It's
because
great.
our goal is to reach out to 1 million people in the state of Washington.
Well,
1
we're
million
gonna,
Hispanic.
we're gonna have to talk to you more about that, and we will, and we'll unpack that more when we have a bit more time with you, which we are definitely gonna have as time moves forward. You are in for the swap meet, and I'm just so, I don't know if I could say this as a broadcaster to a colleague and a sister to a brother, like I'm just like so proud of what you're doing in our community. I do it every day, and I know that it's a labor of love, and so I just
Mission.
Yeah, it's a mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the name of the station, it's PERA in Spanish, PER, right?
Uh-huh.
PER, it's 4 letters. Promoting empowerment with resources and assistance in Spanish, PERA, but it's the same thing in English.
Yeah. Okay. I love it.
Promoting empowerment with resources and assistance. It became a mission last year, but it was being the mission all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It just now is official, So 50% of the time is dedicated to inform and to share information to the community, to our community, everybody, regardless of immigration status. And that's why my focus is now about making sure that our community knows the importance of becoming a citizen, because there's a lot of people that are permanent residents and they already qualified to become a citizen so they can vote. And
Right.
And it's been a while since I haven't been out in the community, not promoting that. I've been promoting health. COVID, it was a big challenge for us.
Yeah.
But now we are going to be promoting also that. That's going to be our next mission for the next 5 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's a worthy mission.
Mhm.
Rafael, thank you. And I love that this all started for you because of your instinct to want to connect with your community. And that was the same for me. So that's probably why we get along so well.
Mhm. Yeah, we have the same mission, at a different level. We're on the same page, just on a different line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Yeah.
You guys from Donnie Guerrero.
Hey, Donnie.
Hey.
My favorite radio.
Yay.
Hey, Donnie.
Guerrero Molina. He's a good guy.
Oh, we
He's a
love
lot-
Donnie.
Where are you? Where are you at?
We should have had him here today.
She can call us.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Video. You can join us.
Yeah, we can send Donnie the link, but I want to get to our other guests here before we run out of time. So thank you so
problem.
much for
Yeah. Oh my
hosting
God,
us
it's time.
today. I know it
Yeah.
goes by so fast when we are having fun. But we'll
Absolutely.
talk to you more soon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. So there you go, Raphael. Listen, he is on Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. PERA RADIO TV.com, and brush up on your Spanish. He's got some credible news that he puts out, and all of the great programming that he does. And he also gets a lot of interviews from local people on. So I want to set you, Rafa. I'm gonna come on your show.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. He said, you heard him. He said sounds good. All right. And the loser of our rock, paper, scissors. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Loser.
No, you are never, ever, ever a loser in my book. But I do love that you are wearing like a semi toned down Hawaiian shirt today.
I have not worn a tie and a jacket for probably 20 years.
Really?
So this is my normal attire.
Are you still working or you're retired?
No, I actually still work, but I work from home.
Oh, good.
So I
Oh,
work-
that's right. You did tell me that. Yeah.
No, so it's been, I actually was one of the people that was doing that long before COVID ever hit. So
Yes.
working from home has been something that's
You were
been-
working from home before it was cool,
Yes.
before it
Yeah.
was trendy.
Well, I got to tell you, I didn't know where your station was. So when I came here today, I came through the double doors and I went right into the self-help Federal Credit Union and realized I was in the wrong place. So I just helped myself open up an account and then came into your
Oh,
door.
good.
So yeah, so that's,
I'm sure they
that's working.
appreciate that. Yeah. I did tell you that you were going to be going into a bank. So, and I don't know if you actually understood what I meant by that, but here we are. And this is not my studio. This is Rafa's studio, and he's just letting us use it for the day and show it off to people. So we're appreciative of that. But thank you for coming out here
Of
and
course.
being part of the program. I want to introduce you. This is Rob Tidd, and if you go out and see any of the local community events, you might see this guy just running around, helping out, volunteering, because you just are giving of your time and your energy and your I don't know, your love for this town and all of its philanthropic efforts. Is that safe to say?
It is. When I lived in a different state, which will go unnamed, I never really got involved in my community. When we moved to East Wenatchee, I decided that I was going to get involved in all aspects of my community. This is the house that I bought that I will die in. I will never move again. And so I thought, you know what? There are things that I could get involved in, and kind of landed in my lap that I was appointed as a city councilman. I joined Rotary, which is a huge passion of mine. I'm a high school football official. I do have a day job. I just like getting involved in things, and because the alternative is not as nice.
How does one fall into becoming a city council member?
Well,
Come on.
Well, I was appointed. So what had happened was that, again, I had decided that I really wanted to learn about my community. And there was a council member who stepped away. And so I threw my name in the hat. Honestly, didn't think I'd ever get involved in politics. Never thought that I would be chosen. I think because of my real estate background, they chose me over who I thought was somebody else that was much more qualified than myself. But they chose me, and it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I think I've contributed a lot, and will continue to do so for the rest of my term.
Do you feel like it does almost an injustice to put pair the term politics with a city council member? Because I feel like a lot of the city council members are there because they do want to give back to the community and be that connector, and a lot of that isn't doing politics, right? A lot of that is doing
Yeah, it's a little
connecting.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when you're a city council member, at least in my jurisdiction. It doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you are politically. It doesn't matter. And I can tell you that we probably have people on the city council from both ends of the spectrum, and that's okay. We're all there to do good in our community
Yeah.
and make our community a better place. And so we kind of leave our politics at the door. We
Yeah.
really don't get into, who's on the conservative side and who's on the liberal side. It just doesn't come up in conversation.
Yeah, I know that we have been around each other's orbits in the past, I don't know, like maybe year and a half, couple of years with like the 4th of July. And I worked with the 4th of July a lot last year and a couple of other events with the city of East Wenatchee. And so I feel like just now I'm really getting to know you more because we're working together a bit more on projects. So I've been asked by more people to come and visit your Rotary group than I can name. And when I showed up, and it was not planned, because we should say you are now the president of, are you president?
Yes.
Is that
Wenatchee
a
Confluence Rotary.
the Wenatchee Confluence Rotary as of just recently, right? You just took on that
July 1.
appointment. Yeah. So when I showed up and it wasn't planned, I was having a meeting with Brandon and Ashley from Wenatchee Computer at their office. And they're like, we have to go because we're going to lunch at the Rotary. And I'm like, well, we're not done. We still have work to do. They're like, well, why don't you just come and have lunch and then we'll finish our work after? And I was like, okay, it's just like fine. And then I walk in. I can't tell you how many people were insulted that I didn't take up their invite to be their guest. Like Paul, Patrick, there was a whole list of people were like, wait a minute, I invited you. You didn't come when I invited you. And I was like, I was totally an accident that I'm here. And then I don't know. So it's just been funny to come and experience your group by accident. And it's been fun. It has been fun.
Well, I know you've been there a couple of times. I think you've enjoyed it. It's a great group, and Rotary is all about giving back to the community. Service above self is the motto of Rotary. And we do a lot of that in our club. And I think as well as the other clubs in the area. And it's just the fact that we raise money. It's not for a for-profit venture that we're doing this. We're doing these for nonprofit events and organizations because we can, and we like doing that because it's all about helping those less fortunate than ourselves.
And I mean, if you'll allow me to kind of speak a little plainly about Rotary, I think a lot of people want to have the perception of it, and in the past, and even myself, okay, because I know Gary Provo. Do you know Gary Provo?
Yes.
I know him very well, and he is also a Rotarian, and he has asked me for years, like, "Hey, come visit Rotary," and like that's not any better. If you know Gary Provo, he's another older guy, white hair, who's asking you to come to Rotary. And if people get that perception of Rotary is kind of maybe older, stuffy organization. And if you look at the history of Rotary, there is this very big, rich history. I mean, they've worked very hard at initiatives like eliminating polio internationally, and we're like there, right? And there are other huge initiatives that they're working on. So I know for a fact that it's been important for nonprofits like Rotary to appeal to a younger generation. And when I look around Wenatchee Confluence Rotary and its membership, I'd say you guys are doing a pretty good job.
It's incredible. I think our youngest members, and there are a couple of them, they're only 21, 22 years old. Our eldest statesman is 87, and we all get along fine. It doesn't matter what your religious background is. We don't care if you identify as male or female. We just leave everything at the door, politics, religion, and we all get together. We have fun. We do this every week. We have free lunches, and we talk about the things that we want to do and projects we want to support. And I've been doing it now for 13 years with this club. And it just amazes me the things that we can do when we are all working together. It just has worked.
I mean, I understand wanting to get involved and giving back, and maybe coming into a new area and wanting to connect with people and be a part of something. And I do see that, like when you go to the meetings, and it is very much you become a part of something. And when you become a member, you do get inducted in, and you get that sense of belonging, which is nice. And
It's also a great way to network.
for sure,
Because
yes.
I would not have met, and you mentioned Brandon and Ashley with the Wenatchee Computer. I would not have met them, but for the fact we had these connections through Rotary.
Yeah.
And whether you're a business person, whether you're an employee, whether you work for a bank, you're a lawyer, it doesn't matter. You will make connections in Rotary if you just let everybody in. And that's why we do classification talks. Classification talks are an opportunity for new members to say a little bit about themselves, what their hobbies are, what their professions are. And that really creates more of a networking opportunity, which is something that wasn't promoted years ago in Rotary, but now it's an important thing.
Mm-hmm. For you, who's been doing it for 13 years, like what is the thing that keeps you doing it?
It's having fun and making friends. Those are the two most important things. And we have fun together. And it doesn't matter if it's a fundraiser, if it's a volunteer opportunity, whether, if it's a Christmas party or a social that we have every quarter. It's fun to get to know the members in our club. And our club is growing. It's right now it's 87 members in our club and growing. And it's been a great journey, because years ago we were not so big and we were not so diverse. I remember when I started, we didn't have that many females in our club, and now we're nearly at 50% of our membership that identify as female, and it's incredible.
Wow. And why is it important for you personally to do work like this?
Well, I never had the opportunity to do it before. And when I lived in a different state, I didn't connect with people in my community. I barely knew my neighbors on my block. And now I have gotten to know so many people in this community because of my connection with Rotary. It's getting to know what the important things are in our community, the people that need help, the organizations that could use help, and being able to have the ability and the finances to really help those less fortunate than myself and most of the members in our club.
Yeah, I know for me, just being able to, it keeps me aware, right? So I don't feel like I am blind to what is happening in the world. That if I am out there and I am paying attention, it's more about just paying attention, right? What are the different groups doing? What are different nonprofits doing? Because what they're paying attention to means that's where the needs are. And I don't want to be blind. Like, I don't want to be this blind, not physically, not literally, metaphorically blind person walking through the world going, oh, there's no homeless people, there's no hungry people. That for me, I don't think I can live my life like that. So I'd like to pay attention. And then if I'm paying attention, then I can't not do something about it.
And even though you're paying attention, it doesn't mean that you know everything that's happening in the community.
No.
We had a group that came to us. Actually, it was 2 teachers, and they wanted to create a Zen room at Foothills Elementary School because they had heard that our club had put brain bikes in some of the elementary schools.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And it was a very successful project. And then these two teachers came and said, well, we're trying to raise money for this Zen room. Could you possibly help us with that? And the Zen room is if a student needs to go in a corner or in a room for a bit of quiet time and then come back and focus on their studies. That's the whole purpose for the Zen room. We funded the whole thing for them.
No way.
Yeah. And so this is happening. We've given them the money. They're going to invite us to come see it. But it's doing things like that it almost, it really tugs at your heartstrings when you know that you've done something for a group or an individual who probably wouldn't be able to get that otherwise.
And it makes such a difference.
Yep.
Like, you're going to make a difference. That's like that person who has to go in that room and maybe it like changes their day or their life. They aren't going to attribute it back to you or your group, maybe, or even, especially even you personally. You're not going to get attribution for it. Like, you're not going to get recognition for it. But man, doesn't that feel good?
It really does. And that's just one example of the things that we've done in our club and continue to do it. We're actually talking about getting an international grant to help a school in Mexico because apparently the school just has young women in it, girls, and they can't afford their uniforms. And so we're going to see if we can get a grant to help them with that. So it's not just here in our community. I mean, it's internationally that we get involved in needs around the world.
Well, I thank you for spending a little bit of time. I would love to talk more about, I know you have so many committees. There's your environs. So they talk about environmental sustainability. You have your DEI, your diversity, equity, inclusion committee. There's a lot of other committees. I don't want to miss out on any of them. I could have each of them on a different week, right? Like, there's a lot to talk about that's happening in your group. But if people want to come visit, what do they have to do?
Well, we have lunches every Wednesday at the Town Toyota Center upstairs in the VIP room. We've had people just walk up and introduce themselves and join us for lunch and hear about what is going on with the club. But there is an international Rotary website. If you go on rotary.org, you can actually say, I'm interested in Rotary, and give your information, and they will connect you with a local club. So if you're from Wenatchee, they'll probably connect you with one of the Wenatchee clubs. And there are several here. Mine's not the only one. And we do have one in East Wenatchee as well. So I would encourage anyone who's interested in community service to reach out.
All right. Thank you. And, I personally want to thank you for your help and your insight and your time and energy that you've given on the Washington State swap meet this season, past few months. You've shown up to every single planning meeting. And you said, if you want to talk about swap meet, I'm probably not your best person to talk to. And I'm like, well, that's an interesting. I'm like, you've been at every single planning meeting. Why wouldn't you be the good person to talk to about it?
Well, I felt like, me personally, that I wasn't really contributing that much to the swap meet.
But you have been supportive of this mission and vision since the beginning. Since you first heard about it, you were like, yes, I see the vision, Nikki. I support you. I am behind you. Like, let's do it. And I can't tell you how much that means to me, because firsthand that when you bring something new to the table, not everybody's going to be excited about it.
And because this is happening in my community of East Wenatchee, as a city council member, it was important for me to know what this was all about and how I could help you make this a successful event that'll happen every year.
And it will happen every year. So thank you for that. I've grown to just love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. I'd be happy to come back anytime.
Well, we will have you back.
Okay.
For sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Rob Tidd, everybody. He is the man. Check him out. Wednesdays at noon, lunch at the Town Toyota Center with the Wenatchee Confluence Rotary. You would think we would be done, but we are not. We are not done, not even close to being done. Oh, my favorite person, one of my favorite people is just waiting there. And look, I got little like butterflies in my stomach because I'm going to talk with Miss Shannon Delaney Kraft. She is here. She is from Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, but come on over, my love. In your nice. Bye, Rob.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi.
In your nice flowery floral dress today. Oh, you're so adorable. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Busy.
Yes, you're busy too. I see. Yeah.
It's been kind of nutty. It was
I'm sorry I made you wait.
No, it's okay. I was late getting here. I had an appointment that surprised me this morning that I couldn't turn down, and then a flurry of phone calls after that. And so,
Can you get just a itty bitty closer?
okay.
Okay.
Hi.
You're just so I don't know why you talk so slow.
I don't know.
I love you. Oh man. Well, I'm glad that you're here now
Yes.
because I feel like I could just like
All right.
just take a breath for a second. Even though I really have to pee. I'm not going to be able to do it right now. But so here's the thing. You are giving to a fault, I think. And I sent you I don't even know. It was like I sent you a text message maybe like a week and a half ago.
Something like that.
And I'm like, I have this idea. And if you are friends with me or you've worked with me in the past, you know that happens a lot.
Mhm.
You'll get a call or a text and I'll be like, I have an idea. And then you just have to wait for the rest of it to be like percolating. I know that there's some people out there that are laughing right now, like Trina Elms. If she's watching, she's going like, I am waiting on a text message from Nikki right now to find out what her idea is for this certain thing that we were talking about yesterday. Like she's literally in that midst of that right now. So it's, yes, I have this thing. I go, I have an idea. And that's what I did to you.
And I love being one of your co-conspirators.
It's lots of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
But this was an idea with you in mind, right? Like it was, I know that this is going to be your jam because of the altruistic nature of the idea. And it was, as I'm moving around, going through my travels and talking to people, like my people out there, my people, and they're telling me, oh man, I really want to go to Swap Meet. I really want to have a booth, but it's just the summer's tight right now, like financially, or the business is, we just got everything, all of our money is just tied up right now for one reason or another. And hey, I get it. If you haven't budgeted out for this event and it's a new thing that's on your docket, I get it. You can't do it if you can't do it. Yeah. So want to be able to give the opportunity for everybody that wants to be able to go and have a booth at whatever level, right? It doesn't have to be this huge investment with all these banners and tents, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to come out there. Like, get a lawn chair and hand out business cards. Like, I don't care. Not that it's a desperation. It's just, we built this festival and I want people to use it as a means to connect. That's the bottom line. So I asked you if there was any way that we could offer up some vendor spots for free. And you went,
yes.
How
many applicants do we have currently?
We have 7.
7. Okay.
We have 7 applicants,
okay,
which is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And, as we kind of talked about it, and I made the initial commitment and then told you, if there's more need than that, I will absolutely double down. I don't want anybody to miss out on this because all the spots were taken.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I can't even, I don't even know what to say to that, but we launched the vendor scholarship program earlier in the week, just to see if anybody would apply.
Yeah.
And
7 people
and
have.
7 people have. So
Yeah. It's great.
and we're taking more applicants. It's still out there, so we're going to just take people on a rolling basis as the need, and it doesn't matter if they're a vendor or a food truck vendor. It doesn't matter. But you know, for you, you don't always say yes to me. There are sometimes you go, no. So when
That's
you
just
do,
my scarcity mindset talking.
of course, yeah. It's not that you don't believe in all of my shenanigans.
I do. I believe in all of them.
All of my
Were I
shenanigans.
independently wealthy, I would finance all of them.
But swap meet something that you legit believe in?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I started going to barter fairs at a really young age, so it's definitely kind of in line with that. Probably without the drum circles, but I mean,
we should totally do it.
We should have a drum circle. That party would
just came out. That's a thing that's now going.
Oh my
my
gosh,
gosh, now
we
that
put
would
it
be
out
off
into
the
the
hook.
universe.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
You get a spot for a drum circle. Here it comes.
now you've done it.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, we so need a drum circle.
We so need a drum circle.
Oh. All right. Now it's happening. See, this is why we do these things, because I can't come up with everything, but yeah, we get into brainstorming sessions and then these things come out and you're like, yeah, why not have a drum circle?
Why not?
Why not? Right?
Right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I think we all come from some kind of, everybody that's getting involved has come from some kind of vendor fair-ish kind of background, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's a barter fair or my background was flea markets. Like my grandfather I grew up with going to the flea market to see my grandfather sell stuff at the flea market.
Nice.
Yeah, always up in the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And they still have that flea market, you know, and so I remember that, and that was a huge deal. Like, you got your money to go to the flea market. What are you going to buy at the flea market? So flea markets, little different than swap meets, little different than barter fairs, little different than bazaars, little different than craft bazaars, craft markets. This is all of that just thrown into one.
All are welcome.
All are welcome. We'll take you all. Oh, who's commenting us? Oh, yeah. Make Music Ellensburg is watching, and they said, "Yay, drum circle!"
Right.
Hey, Make Music Ellensburg, you want to come and organize a drum circle?
That
You
would
are
be
yes, come
amazing.
and organize our drum circle. We would be more than happy to give you some stage time. That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, Make Music Ellensburg.
I love it.
I haven't. Yeah, let's do it. What else is going on with you?
Trying to get kids ready for school. That's been crazy.
Okay.
School
Well, tell me
clothes,
about that.
school clothes shopping, school supply shopping. They keep adding new and strange things to the list of school supplies that are required every year.
What ages and grades are we talking about?
Oh boy. Well, we have a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So that's busy.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really busy.
Holy cow.
So we have, it's wild right now, just trying to get everybody organized and everybody, everybody what they need. And, just trying to keep up right now. I'm actually really looking forward to the children going back to school because, I mean,
You and every other parent
right,
in this
I mean,
in this state
my gosh, the house
world.
golly, trying to keep up with the housework, the dishes, like just all the
The
things.
chickens.
The ducks. I mean, with all the kids home, it's just absolute insanity
Yeah.
right now. So I'm going to be really kind of sad for them to go back because it's been a fun summer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and I'm going to be sad that I have to get up at 6 a.m. again because I'm not a morning person. But I'm definitely happy that.
You mean all those early morning texts that I sent you? You're usually sleeping.
Yeah, usually. It's
Oh.
okay. I don't wake up. Like when I'm asleep, like a bomb would not wake
Okay.
me. So,
Okay.
but yeah, and so I'm definitely looking forward to not having a house full of children wrecking my house while I'm out working all day.
Yeah.
So,
What are you doing? Are you doing anything this weekend? You want to come over and help me organize my garage?
I have a walkthrough tomorrow on a commercial property we just got under contract, and then I have a home inspection.
Oh, fun.
After that,
That stinks.
I know. Well, it's good. It means I have
Well,
growth
yeah.
in escrow.
Well, okay.
I
forget you like your job.
I do love my job.
Yeah. I can never do your job.
I
But
love it. Yeah. Anyway, so I have, and then hopefully Sunday, if the weather is decent enough, we're gonna try to just load the kids up with a cooler full of sandwiches and chips and sodas and make our way up to
somewhere?
Powerhouse Park in Chelan Falls and
Oh, cool.
spend the day swimming and playing and eating.
Did they enjoy coming and swimming at the pool?
They did.
Oh, cool.
Very much.
Yay.
They had a great time.
Yay.
Yay.
We like that people like our pool.
Yeah, no, they had a great time.
It helps us to make our house a home, you know?
Yeah, no, they had a great time.
When we have people over and
Yeah.
people can enjoy our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy your house.
Yeah, I like when you come over, but we have to start getting things ready for swap meet. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is my cousin is coming in on Tuesday,
Oh boy.
so I got to drive over and pick her and the kids up on Tuesday. But I have to have everything ready before then. So all that stuff that's on in Trenton's room on the bed in there has to go out into the garage. Oh yeah, she's actually seen it, so she knows what it looks like. Yeah, it's a job.
Yeah.
So that's what my weekend looks like right now. Yeah, it's okay.
I know.
It's if I wasn't so excited,
I know.
it would be like a chore, but it's like it's fine. It's
I get it.
ready.
Yeah, no, it'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to all the things. I'm looking forward to the swap meet. I'm looking forward to school starting. I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe a little bit of an extended summer so that we can get some more swimming and paddling time in.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've swam or paddled nearly enough.
Well, you and me both, but I've just been so busy.
I know.
Last weekend speaking of busy, last weekend, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I had 2 karaoke events last weekend.
Nice.
One on Friday at Tower Pizza up in Crescent Bar.
Nice.
Was off the hook. It was like crazy night. So much fun. I love that crew up there. They're always so cool. But Saturday night was like a multi-generational family-friendly fiesta karaoke night at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Center.
Nice.
Senior Activity
I
Center.
bet that was really fun.
It was so fun. But listen, so
I think it was sold out.
It was sold out.
Yeah.
And I asked them if it would be okay because Ryan wanted to go and he wanted to bring Trenton for a little bit. Now, you know the deal with the cars and everything. Yeah. So he couldn't drive with Trenton because his car is broken down right now. So the in-laws wanted to go. Now, this is like senior center, perfect. The in-laws pick and the senior center said, awesome, bring them along. Yeah. You know, so they got admission in, dinner, really awesome dinner that was catered in, and plus entertainment, which was me, right? I was the entertainment. But like Ryan has obviously seen me host karaoke because that's how we met. Yeah. Trenton saw me not really hosting karaoke, but he saw karaoke because we did it for his birthday party.
Yes, we did.
But my in-laws never really saw me do karaoke. So this was just it was a really interesting and awesome experience for me. And I said earlier that this was one of the best nights of karaoke that I have ever hosted in my entire life
Aw.
because my family was there.
Yeah.
I never get to do that stuff in front of them because one, I was always doing it in bars and it was always 21 and over. And to get to host karaoke in front of my husband, my son, and my in-laws,
Mhm.
and all of them have a good time.
Yeah.
And Ryan got up there and sang, and I got up there and sang, and I'm holding my son while dancing while Ryan's singing, and there's a whole room of people who are just enjoying themselves, and different people from different walks of life, different ages that get up and they just are all having a good time. And I don't know, my in-laws genuinely had a really good time. And I don't think they even knew that Ryan could sing. And you've heard Ryan,
I
like
have.
Ryan's a good
Yeah,
singer.
we've done a few duets in your backyard.
That's right. And they're like, wow, you
Yeah.
can sing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, how do you not know that about your son? Yeah, but but it was just like this one moment where I'm like, I had Trenton in my arms and we're kind of dancing on the dance floor and Ryan's singing a song. And I kind of look over and I see my in-laws kind of like bopping their head. And I look around the room and there's like people dancing on the dance floor and everybody's just happy. And I'm like, this is like, I made this happen.
This is perfect.
Like, this is just so cool.
Yeah.
This is why I left doing karaoke in bars.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I do private for hire karaoke.
Yeah.
Because I can make this happen.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It was so cool, Shannon.
That's so awesome.
I loved it.
Oh,
It just,
that's awesome.
and I just
Maybe
wouldn't.
they'll make it a regular thing.
They
there.
might. They want
Yeah,
to
it's
maybe
just-
do. I think they
Yeah.
want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, even if it was just like once a quarter or something, but for something, a special thing that, gets their families out. I mean, that's wonderful.
yeah, and they sold out. So
Yeah.
imagine that. And
Yeah.
I just want to do more and more and more karaoke stuff. We are going to do family friendly karaoke on Saturday night of the
Yes.
swap meet. So
Yes.
see how that goes.
And I think we'll have the boys that weekend too.
Oh, cool, fun.
Yeah.
Bring them on out.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Do you have to run? You have to go do more work or what?
I have to go analyze, like, I don't know, about 450 acres of orchard properties
Oh.
for,
That sounds
Yeah.
fun.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, do me a favor and talk to Paul in your office
okay.
about he said he's going to bring a booth for
Oh,
Coldwell
Coldwell
Banker
Okay.
to swap meet. So we'll make sure that you guys have a booth out there and are
Okay.
represented. And yeah, are you going to come through that weekend? Or are you away?
I think we have the boys and we'll be here.
Oh
this
yeah.
weekend.
Oh yeah. You just said that.
Yeah, I don't think we have any plans. I'll have to
Okay.
check with Justin to find out. He's my social planner.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're-
right. You're the Ryan in the relationship.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I
yeah,
forget that.
Yeah, like
I'm
I-
the Justin's the me.
yeah, I would never leave the house if it weren't for Justin. I mean, other than to work, but Justin's the social planner.
I'm just lucky that you live about a block and a half away
I
or
know,
something, or
it's
else
so
you never come over my
I know
house.
it's really convenient. Your house is like pretty much almost next door.
Lucky for me.
Yay!
Yay. All right, I love you.
I love you. Can I come hug you?
Yes, please come hug me. I'm not. Can I sit and
Yeah.
because I'm connected to
Can I take a picture?
cords.
Yes.
Mwah.
Love
I love you. Okay. We've got a few more minutes before we finish up here. I want to do, I have some pictures to share with you from this week. If in case you missed it, I was on Sunny FM with Dave in the morning on Wednesday. So I went in, there I am, up to my old tricks, right behind me. Dave's on the air, Dave in the morning, Sunny FM. I'll be back on Wednesday morning again And if you do listen to Sunny FM, you'll start to hear some swap meet ads on there, as you will when you listen to PERA RADIO TV.com. Rafa is going to start to play some ads and talk about the swap meet as we move forward. But here I am. And then of course, just kidding, Dave. We're buddies. I'll give you my picture of Trenton, our cute Trenton picture of the week. There he is, me and him working hard on swap meet stuff one morning. This is my husband loves this picture because we're both looking at the camera and smiling, and that is such a rarity. Yeah, Trenton's daycare just asked me, they're like, do you have a family picture that we could put up on our family wall? I'm like, yeah, good luck. Look at these baby toes. My caption on this is a little dirt, don't hurt. I show you these pictures in case you don't follow me or the Washington State swap meet Instagram, because that's where you'll find, or Darling Productions Instagram or Facebook, because that's where you'll find most of these. But yeah, they're, we don't care about dirt in our house, but those are my kids' dirty baby toes, toddler toes. And this week has been so busy, guys. I have had just so much stuff with the campaign and radio and all this other stuff. I'm editing. And last night I had to edit audio and I forgot to take these headphones home with me. So maybe you caught, I was editing audio and the only headphones that I could find that had the correct jack to do it were my son's Spider-Man headphones.
Yeah, that's obvious.
So there I am at my kitchen table editing audio with Spider-Man headphones on. That was me last night. I think I have some pictures from, look, that was Tower Pizza up in Crescent Bar from Friday night of last week. Look at that party. Isn't that great?
That looks like a lot of, I wish I would have made it.
That was a fun time.
Do you have pictures from the senior center?
I don't. I didn't even really take any pictures because I was just hanging with the fam so much. But
well, I was amazed at the turnout. It was quite.
It was sold out. Sold out, brah. 120 people.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it was a really awesome night. So, yeah, that was the Tower Pizza. I will be back there. They've hired me to come back for, I think it's the 30th of September. It's also the night that their golf tournament is there. Yeah, the September 30th. So you can put that on your calendar. I'll be back at Tower Pizza. And let me tell you, they really do have some good pizza. Their pesto chicken pizza, I could have eaten that whole thing. Nom, 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 nom. And it's really cool because it's outside and it's not like a patio. So the night was awesome and they have some patio lighting and they're just really fun people out there. And I just had a blast. It was just a lot of fun to go up there and just kick it. Do like a traditional karaoke night, right? Like, yeah, they have drinks and they have a bar, but there's also food and it's kind of outdoors. So it's not like a dark, dingy, grungy bar atmosphere, right?
It's coming because that's a far drive. So drinking.
It's not a far drive though. It's only a half an hour. It's on this side of Quincy.
It's a far drive if you're drinking.
Oh, it's a far drive if you're drinking. Yeah.
It's more of a place that you go and have fun and you eat some pizza, there's some food and sing karaoke.
I never think about that because I'm a DD.
Yeah.
I don't drink, so I never worry about that. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, come over here and we're gonna say
talking to you.
We're gonna say goodbye to the people. This show is absolutely amazing today. We've had 0 dropouts. So I want to thank Brandon because he came over and like reconfigured our hotspot and did some voodoo magic on it. And it seems to be working really well. and he has given me this new laptop that has more processing power. So we're getting better all the time. And I want to thank Brandon and the crew over at Wenatchee Computer, because they have helped me tremendously. And just if you need more information on the swap meet, please, WashingtonStateSwapMeet.com is the website to get the schedule. But we do have an email subscription list, which Lacey Watson is taking control of right now. And she is from, I can't remember the name of her business. It's like New Moon Media, something. I'll get the name of it, but
I don't know the name
people
of
know
it.
Lacey. People know
Yes.
Lacey. So
Hi, Lacey. I know that she's been watching.
she's been doing a great job with the
Fantastic. I'm super proud of you, and I have actually told that to Nikki and in many a business meeting. Now I'm super impressed with you taking
the social
reins
media and
doing
the
as
email.
much as you are. Yeah, it's I'm impressed.
So legit, like, join it's not going to be one of those spam email subscription lists, but we'll legit keep you up to date on all the activities and stuff for Swap Meet. So it's an informative email list to be a part of as well. So there you go. And all that can be through our Facebook and Instagram and all that. We should just we should add. Oh, I'm gonna do it for next week. I can add this stream onto the Swap Meets Facebook page. So we'll have a 5th Facebook page that we can stream on.
Yeah.
I wish I would have thought about that earlier.
It's okay. We live and learn, right?
Yeah. Let's do a little bit of recap from today. We got to talk with Rafael Aguilar, who runs PERA RADIO TV.com. And we want to thank him for hosting us here today.
Thank you so much, Rafael. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And we're going to see him a lot more in the future. He will be our bilingual MC for Washington State Swap Meet and help out with the stage announcements. And we're going to do some more bilingual podcasting together. So we're going to explore that in the future. I want to thank Rob Tidd from the Wenatchee Confluence Rotary.
Such a nice guy.
I mean, I lead with that, but I should probably lead with the East Wenatchee City Council too, because he sits on the city council. But he's a
really nice guy. He's really easy to work with. He always comes up with some really wonderful ideas. He's like a solution. He's a solution guy.
He is a solution guy.
Yeah, and all of our meetings, he's been a solid solution guy. Oh, well, we got the fencing for you.
Yes. Yeah, we got the fencing.
We got the coolers. We got the fencing. We can help you out with all these things.
Yeah.
Let's not make it a headache,
Right.
And that was Rotary to Rotary, But yeah. It's the first time I've met him. I'm not familiar with his name. And when you put the name with the face and you sit down in a meeting, you feel like, oh man, this is daunting. And then he starts talking and you feel like you do belong in the room. You don't feel kind of the opposite of
right? Yeah.
He's got a huge presence, but he's a very, because I've been to the city council meetings over there.
Of course, yeah.
And he's just like that. He's just that voice that you're like, oh. But then in the meeting, he's like completely different. So yeah, every time we have someone on this podcast, Nikki, it's always someone that's incredibly amazing. It's someone that we want to continue to talk to.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like that random interview where you're like, oh, I'm so glad.
I'm so glad that's
them on. Yeah, and we don't ever have those interviews on this show. And I love it. I love all the people that you get to talk to, because I also like the viewers. I'm listening. I mean, I'm monitoring everything, but I'm listening, and so it's you learn stuff, and it's a great way to network is what I've picked up on.
Well, it's because I get to talk to my friends, right? Like, who would have thought like Rob Tidd and I would be friends? Like, we are legit friends. And so I get to talk to him like a friend. And it just makes it easier to get the information when he trusts me. Like, we've already have a rapport. So when he sits down in the chair across from me, I don't have to start from scratch trying to build a rapport with him. He already knows and can trust me in this space. Right. And that means a lot as an interviewer. then I already know that they trust me coming into this. And it allows me to just get to the point instead of, in other interviews, when it's people I don't know, or if it's a celebrity, right? You have to take the time to build rapport with that person and then get to the meat and potatoes of it. It's a different interview style, but I prefer it this way. That's why you see me interview a lot of the people that I know, because of that reason. It becomes more personal.
Yeah, and we've had a couple people on that we didn't really know that we'd love to have back, which is also incredible.
Yeah.
Because it's a new relationship that's built.
Like Lorianne
From
Pet Hub, yeah.
Like Ruben Benacourt.
Ruben Benacourt from the Hispanic Business Council.
Yeah, and having Oscar.
Nobody can remember. Sorry, Oscar.
Name Oscar. I'm so sorry.
Nobody can remember Oscar's last name.
I can't enunciate it, and I don't want to make a fool of myself.
Oscar, right? Yep, that was correct. Oscar.
Love you, Oscar. My legal first name is hard to say as well. Like, so everyone calls me Grace and Steve. But no, it's great. It's a great podcast. And I'm so glad that you came up with the idea of having this podcast and, being in different locations. And I've been hanging out with you on this, learning the back end as a technical producer here. And I just want to say something before we say goodbye to these people.
Well, let me thank Shannon Delaney Craft finally, because we didn't thank
Shannon.
her.
I'm so sorry.
So we want to thank Shannon and let you know that there are still spots available for that vendor scholarship program for the swap meet. So if you are a business or organization that wants to have a vendor spot for that weekend, but you don't think that you can afford it, then you can apply for that vendor scholarship. And that was provided by Shannon Delaney Craft of Coldwell Banker Cascade. Okay.
Shannon, very much a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I just want to, I'm not trying to light your seat over there and put you in the hot seat, but from the time that I've kind of been helping you out here, and we're in August now, so that's 8 months that I've been kind of like helping you out and learning stuff. And I just want to say that I was really, really unsure how this podcast was going to go down. Not to say that I thought it was going to fail, just how it was going to go down. And I've noticed, if anything, every time we're somewhere different, meeting somewhere different and connecting with other people, they're streaming it. Their friends or family are watching it. And then when we go live, today, I've never seen comments on Twitch. It's like my first time.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like watching it in real time while you're having a conversation with Raphael. And this individual is like, oh my gosh, I know who these people are. Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? And I'm sitting there on the back end like, oh. And then it just kept happening, it was on Facebook and YouTube. And so when I get to see the viewers and you get more of an opportunity to do it in the background on your end, it shows me how everything picks up. And I get asked about this podcast by people who don't even live in Wenatchee and that watch it, just to basically, it's a talk show.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because they're learning about what's going on here, and they'll probably, come and visit here, but it's someone that's, it's investment, viewer investment of how far this show has come. And I know that there was a point when you were like, I don't know if we should continue to do this particular, podcast. And I'm like, no, we have to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Because people do really enjoy watching it. And a lot of people are working, so, they don't get to watch the whole thing live. They'll just come in during their lunchtime and watch it. But they come back and watch it. It's obvious when you look at the amount of traffic of views that people come back later and watch it. And to see some of these hit, triple digits of watching, it means that people are watching, and that's like that.
I want to just
that made me happy.
I want to thank you for saying all of that. And I want to clarify just one point. I did question whether to continue this podcast at some point because we were coming up on a time where, ever since the start of this podcast, we've had a presenting sponsor. And what that means is that, there's certain overhead costs to putting on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And that agreement with the presenting sponsor was coming to an end. And so starting in July going forward, we didn't have a presenting sponsor. We don't currently still for this podcast in particular, we don't have a presenting sponsor. And I have not been out there trying to really match us up with one because of and at that time, I knew I wasn't going to really have the bandwidth to go out there and try and adequately match us up with a presenting sponsor. So there was really going to be no funding for this podcast until I could really match us with a presenting sponsor. So at this moment, we are doing this podcast for fun and really losing money by doing it. Not really losing money, but yes, kind of by doing it. Because
Well, yes, losing money because you're not being able to focus your energy on other projects and things that you're doing because you're spending,
I just don't want people to think that like I really
hours.
care about that so much. I mean, I wanted to keep doing it. How much, I love it, but I was at that moment was trying to figure out how much physical energy I have for certain things that I knew were coming up, like the campaign, like Swap Meet and all of that. And I know that we have other podcasts that we have in development that we want to get moving. And so what did I want to really put my energy towards? And I don't want to stop doing this podcast, and I do want to get it sponsored so that its future is secure.
It's going to happen, and like we've talked about, I think it's going to end up being multiple sponsorship. I think it'll end up being multiple people wanting to step forward, multiple businesses, and offer to be a presenting sponsor because they believe in what you do and because they believe in the fact that you bring them.
I have no doubt.
Business.
I have
And
no
so
doubt. I just you don't get them unless you ask, right? And I haven't done that yet. So
and I haven't either. I mean, I know I work on that end a lot, and I'm getting people set up for having their own sponsor come time that and being prepared, because that makes it all the more easier. Not because I don't want to do the work. It just makes it easier to get it out there and get it out there quickly. But yeah, I know you're doing it for fun, but there are people who love this show.
I know.
And I hear it. I know you hear it. You've got it. You can't tell me that you haven't heard more than 2 people be like, "Oh man, I watched that. It was so incredible."
Listen, I went into my therapist, and even my therapist was like, "Oh, I've heard of that." I was like, "Oh, that's good." Go back, watch it. It will give you so much insight into me. He's a new therapist, by the way. All right, we gotta go. We are way over time. Thank you so much, Rafa, La PERA, for hosting us today. We'll be back next week. I don't know where we're gonna be yet, but we're gonna be something. Maybe we'll be at Humblebee. Carming, we're gonna come to you next week. How about that? Maybe. We're going to try it. We'll try and make that happen. That would be so cool. Don't forget the NCW fairs this weekend. We did not get to connect with Carolyn Morley up there, but if you're up there, you might see our Swap Meet, big old Swap Meet banner up there. If you need more information on that, go to WashingtonStateSwapMeet.com, all spelled out. We will see you next week, everybody. Peace out.